Everyone, thanks for checking this channel out again. Really do appreciate it. You're here watching Six String Fun with me, Rich. Wanted to do something I've been trying to do for a very long time, and I put it off for a long time because this tune, Twice as Hard by the Black Crowes, the lead guitar is in an alternate tune. I think it's open G, and I'm so against, just personally me, having to just keep tuning and retuning guitars. So I never really quite learned it. Didn't want to be bothered going from open G to standard again. But I sat down with this and I kind of got the rhythm piece of it, and it was pretty simple, 3 chords, and I just really had to figure out that opening, riff. And then once I got it, I put it all together and realized, wow, this is super easy. A great song, but just seems a lot harder than you think it might be. We're talking 3 chords for the most part here. So what I wanted to do today was walk you through how to play this in an acoustic type setting, because as I mentioned in my other videos, if you follow the channel, I'm part of a new acoustic project right now, band name yet to be decided upon technically. So but this has definitely been, Black Crowes, a couple of Black Crowes tunes have definitely been on the agenda here. So this is the first one I decided to get out of the way, and it was really pretty simple, so I'm glad I did it. It's the opening riff, and then 3 chords basically. It's so it's the G chord, an F, and the C basically, with that and that riff. So let's just take a closer look at this now, and I'll walk you through how I do it for this acoustic type of project I'm working on. Hopefully helps you out too. All right, so why don't we just take a closer look at this tune, Twice as Hard, by the Black Crowes. Again, you have that intro riff with a couple, 3 chords we're using throughout the whole song. Again, I am playing this in standard tuning. I don't like having to go through alternate tunings if I don't need to, especially if I'm in a live situation. Usually I only have one guitar with me. I'd rather have, if I have a backup, I want both of them in tune, standard tuning. If I break a string, something comes off, whatever it might be, I can just grab the other one. So I try to stay away from alternate tunings as much as I can, at least in that situation. If I'm home and I'm just, noodling around on something, different story, but, not for this though. So it really starts off on a G with a, I guess within the G major scale, is it G major scale, I guess? I don't want to say, I guess, we'll say that. So it's the G, right? And all we're doing here is when we play that, that's how that starts. So it's hitting just that 6th string on the 3rd fret, which is the G, and then just hitting the chord. And then so I usually start here on what I've been doing, starting here on this note, to the B on the 6th string, which is the 7th fret, to the 5th fret, back to the 3rd fret. And it's also, I'm just going to pick it one time. Right? So, and it ends on a C. So again, just picking the 6th string, chord, pick it again, but we're gonna move it. We're gonna make that slide with one picking motion. And end on the C. Now, when you're doing this, you've got to be pretty accurate, because if you're off, 1 by 1 fret in either direction, it definitely doesn't sound right. Or you go sharp. So just concentrate on those 3 areas right there. And you're going to play that 4 times. All right, so after the 4th time, we go to an F. So it's going to be, when you come out of that riff 4 times, the C to the F, back to the C, and then you're going to have one other riff here that's going to bring you back to that G. We're going to, and pretty unconventional when you're pulling from this area here, but you're going to be on the 8th string, going to the 1st fret, and So it's going to be a pick and a hammer off. And then from there, you're going to hit back to that main note, that G note on the 6th string. I believe it's 3 times you can do that. So altogether, the intro. Change to the F, back to the C, and then the riff here. That's it. And then now you're going into the verse, which is just basically 2 chords for most of the verse. Your G and your C. Right, you're going to do that. I don't know how many times off the top of my head, but listen to the track. But there will be a change. And that's really going to be it. So it's just going to be coming out of that G to the C, the F, and then back to that G. All right, now the one thing I will suggest is that when you're going into that, anytime you're playing this F chord, I would steer away from the higher strings. I think when you can hit it right around here between the 5th string and the 3rd string, maybe that B string you can throw in there, it just has a grittier sound to it. And sometimes when you're playing the F chord, some people just like to not bar it, and that E string sometimes stays open. That E string is not going to help you out right now. So if you're just kind of hitting, say, these 3 strings right here, I think it kind of gives it a grittier type of sound. So it's however that goes. Back to that riff. All right, and the chorus is going to be pretty much more of the same. Right, so that's all you're doing for this tune, basically. Those 3 chords. So it's a matter of knowing this riff here, this riff. Again, I'm pulling from the 1st fret of the A string to an open A to the G note up here on the 6th string. All right, so, and then the chords are 3 chords: G, C, F. There's your song right there. So it's just a matter of just kind of listening to the song. If you know it already, hopefully that's now making sense. If not, listen to it. The pieces are all right here for you to try to get that down. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think. But again, that's how I've put this together for my purposes for the project I'm part of right now. So you've got that intro 4 times, and then when it changes over to the F, then you have your other riff here, and then G and C for the verse. And I played a C add 9 there. You can go either way on that one. It's really whatever you're in the mood for. Chorus is going to be the same chords. It just maybe the dynamics change in terms of the strumming pattern. That's the only difference there, really, for the most part. But that's really how I play this song for the purposes I need it for right now. All right, so there you have it. Pretty straightforward, as I mentioned, how to play this tune by the Black Crowes, Twice as Hard. Great tune. Really, I think this was off, their first album, Shake Your Moneymaker. Some great music on that as well. I'm sure there'll be a few more that I'm going to be walking you through how to, at least play in certain arrangement that'll work for me in this band I'm part of now. Any requests, let me know in the comments below. But please like, subscribe, to the channel. Can't do it without you. So really, the feedback is really important. So, in the comments, let me know what's working, what's not working, any requests, and we'll go from there. All right. Take care. Thanks.
Hey everyone, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Gonna do another Springsteen one for you. Actually, one of the ones I guess it's kind of flown under the radar. It was from the Human Touch album. The song is Human Touch. Probably didn't get as much commercial success being that was the when he fired the E Street Band, basically. So love the album, love the tune. I'm kind of surprised that for the years I was in a Springsteen cover band, we never did it. I stumped for it several times. It just didn't work out. Well, all good, all good, but it's still a great tune. So some basic chords: C, F, G, A minor, D minor. I think are the chords we're playing. So there's also solo in this. I'm not going to do it in this one, but if you want to hear it, I think I could pretty much get it done. So it's there, but it's pretty cool. There's guitar in the tune, but a lot of it obviously kind of driven by the keyboard and the keys on this one. But nonetheless, there's some great guitar, I think, in this one. So, and what I did was, believe it or not, I'm actually playing through my Fishman acoustic amp to get some chorus and reverb, and it actually doesn't sound so bad. Just to kind of give it some space so it sounds like it's floating out there. I think that was the key for this tune. So anyway, we're going to start off on a G. That's how it kicks right in, all right? To an F, to the C. So it's... You're going to hold that G a little bit longer, probably twice as long. So it's G for a count of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So G for 2. Let it ring. F. All right. And that's a pattern that repeats in the song for a good part of it. All right. And the other thing that I tend to do is when I play this with the electric is that when I hit that G, I'll come up first 3 strings, E, B, G. And I'll do it again for the C. Just kind of arpeggiating some chords, just to fill out some of that space, really more than anything else. Okay, so that's your intro. You're going to play that twice. The verse is the same progression, okay? You're going to play that another 3 times. The 4th time, you still play that progression, but we're going to switch back to the chords we're going to. So, again, intro, G, F, C, we got that. Verse, G. That'll repeat, and then when you get into the 4th time, let's just say the 3rd time. Just listen, you'll hear it. Instead of going back to the G, F, C, G. Okay? So, the part of the song that is, it's, let's see if I can sing it for you. Just you and me tonight. Right? So that's one of those transitions. Just try to remember where it is. We're not learning any new chords here. It's just kind of the order and we're putting them in rotation, basically. Okay? The chorus is basically your F and your C. I'm looking for recipe. Right? F, C. And what's going to happen is you're going to throw that G in there to go back into your pattern. And a little of that human touch. Just a little of that human touch. So those are your chords. We're doing 3 chords so far. That's it. So just listen to it. You'll hear the changes. It's pretty obvious, I think, when you listen to it. All right. So you're going to go verse, chorus, back to that kind of intro piece. And then back to the verse. Ain't no mercy on the streets of this town. I think that's the chord. I think it's the 2nd verse. Anyway, you get it. The bridge, we're going to throw in 2 different chords now. We're going to throw in an A minor and a D minor. Okay? So we're coming out of the last chorus. So it's Oh Girl. So I think it's going to be Oh Girl. So what do we do? A minor. F. C. more time. A minor. Oh, girl, that feeling of safety and pride. D minor. Well, it comes with a hard, hard price. Back to the A minor, okay? So we're going to go back to the A minor. You can't shut off the risk and the pain. So it's going to be basically what you're doing is you're playing that A minor F, C, G progression twice, but in the middle you're throwing that D minor. It's kind of like a turnaround transition for it, okay? So altogether the bridge is going to be... And then we're going to just mix up two chords. F... on this train into the solo, right? So all together. Without there remains we're all riders on. So in the solo, you go to the solo, two chords, F and C. So you play that progression four times, but four times for the F and the C. 4 times. That's really it. Okay. And again, and you can kind of make it your own. But again, the solo, if you want to hear it, I can throw it together. A separate lesson, but it's pretty straightforward. The keys. The coolest part about the solo, because it is a transition back into the song itself, is on the G string. You're going to take the 7th fret and 2nd fret, and you're going to bend them up. All right, and then from there, the harmonics you hear. 5th fret, D string, G string. So it's all right, and then you're kind of going back into what we've already done already. Just got to know which part it is. So it's going to be the chorus, right? And then you're going to go back. Okay, coming out. There's an outro solo. Coming out next, a pretty cool little rhythm pattern. So it's the same progression, G, F, C, but we're hitting the bass notes. G, and then an open E to the F, to the C. Whoops. G, open A, 3rd fret A for that C. Kind of just goes out from there. So, and there's the outro, so it's kind of... Right, so, but I can work on it. If you guys want to hear it, let me know. I'll go back to that. But for the most part, that's kind of the nuts and bolts, the human touch. Hopefully you liked it. Enjoy it. See you next time.
Everyone, good to see you again. Thanks for checking this video out. I am Rich. You're watching 6 String Fun, so I really do appreciate you watching the channel, watching the videos, everything that I have going on here. Gonna stay in the 90s a little bit again with this, with some of the songs I've been doing. Acoustic guitar arrangements. This tune, full band situation or just acoustic, it works well. I think either way. It was probably written on an acoustic guitar, the way it just flows. But it's by Matchbox 23 AM. We've played this tons of times in all different bands. Full band, acoustic, so it lends itself to really almost any situation. Everybody knows it. You know, I guess it was 95-ish it came out, I guess, if I had to remember correctly, right around that time frame. But pretty straightforward. I guess if you want to say what key it's in the key of G sharp, I guess, you know, because the capo. If there's no capo, you'd be playing it up here in G, but, you know, we're going to go up, you know, a whole step, I should say a whole fret, which is a half step here. Again, the capo's on here because that's just how the song was written. I don't have it on there for any other reason other than that. Pretty straightforward, basic chords. G. Again, I'm going to be referring to these chords in the shape, not in the actual key because it'll kind of just get weird. But I'll refer to everything as, you know, the G shape, C shape, D, E minor shape, just so you know what you're doing there. Even though it's not the same key, it's just easier for learning that way. So we'll just take a look at it and I'll show you how I play it. Okay, so 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20. Let's take a closer look at this. Pretty straightforward in terms of, you know, the chord shapes. Again, capo is on the first fret, so this is going to be relative basically to being our nut. So, you know, that's open, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So we're going to just call out the chord shapes as they are. So, we're, you know, this is not a G, but it's a G shape. So really the chords we're using throughout the course of the song is a G, a C add 9, D, and there's an E minor in there. Okay, again, these are all chord shapes, not the tones, but just the shapes. So here's how I've been playing it for quite a few years now. We're going to start off on the G, and then we move to the C add 9. So it's... So what did I do there? I start off on the G. So it's a G. These two fingers come off, and I'm hammering back on from the E and the A string just to the A and the D string. Now at this point I'm assuming you know your chords, so that way you know how to fret these. So I'm not going to go into how to do it, but this is how I end up playing it. Right? What's that right I'm playing? I'm playing an open D, hammering on to the second fret, open G. Second time. And all I'm going to do here is just pick right up the strings. That's basically it for that intro. Oop. So that's that G to the C add 9 is just what we do before we hit the first verse. Okay, do that a few times. Now, this is the part I don't always nail, so I just try to give it the illusion that I'm kind of hitting all these notes, but it's basically a 5-note pattern with 2 hammers. I'm doing here is open A hammer, open D hammer on the second fret for both of those, and then an open G. When the verse starts, we're going into the D. So it's a D. So we strum it, and then I'm going to go sus2, picking that open E string and hammering. Back to that C add 9, but I'm taking my pinky off to that open E, okay? And then back to that original hammer, open D to 2, G. So let me just play that first part of the verse for you. So again, back to that G to the C, and the verse just continues. And again, Now here's where it changes a little bit up. I think it's the fourth time for each time in the verse. You start with that D. You play the D again. But this time, keeping everything fretted, you're going to hammer your pinky onto the high E. So it's right. And as I'm picking that C shape, I'm just starting on the fifth string. So it's a lot of just arpeggiating these chords instead of strumming. So if you're not strumming, you're just picking. Okay? And that's your verse for the most part. I know it's kind of tricky. This isn't something you give a beginner to do, so it's a little more on the advanced side. But if you know your chords, you can pick and arpeggiate these chords. You've got this. The verse, the chorus, very simple. It's going to be G. So what am I doing there? G, D, C, D. Right, so that part right there, very simple. Just kind of playing some simple chords there. When it transitions, it goes to an E minor, to a D, to that C add 9. And then we go back into the hammer. We're repeating what we just did already. That's really it. So you're gonna again, really, I know there's a lot going on there, but that, again, if you can't play the hammers or the arpeggiating, just strum it. So it's pretty straightforward if you can do it that way. Okay. So now we've done the verse, we've done the chorus. We're going to go back into another verse and another chorus. And then there's a bit of a breakdown there. So if we're coming out of the second chord. So what are we doing here? So again, coming out of it, that C add 9. And you're just, you're just picking, you're arpeggiating the chords. And then back to that hammer on the D string to the G. Do that a few times, and then you go back into that like the intro basically. But the dynamics have changed a little bit. You're just kind of bringing it down a little bit. It's the same patterns. You're just kind of playing with the dynamics a little bit more, okay? So you can do that a few times. Now coming out of that last one, I think the part is, but outside it starts raining. But outside it keeps raining. Yeah. So all you're doing there is you're coming to the D, to the C add 9, and you're just hitting that. To the chorus. Right? And then back. So you're going to do that 2 times at the end there, and then you're going to land. Song goes out from there. So, if you can strum it, there's a lot happening there. But if you can arpeggiate it, a lot happening there as well too. So give it a shot. Let me know your thoughts. It is quite involved. So hopefully it helped you out. But if not, you can just kind of strum it as well. That's really it. So again, thanks for checking the video out. Really do appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Everyone, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by and checking this video. Is this crooked? A little crooked. If it's crooked, I apologize. I am Richie. This is 6 String Fun. Gonna go back to some basics with Rush. Just stripping a couple. I've done a couple already. To the acoustic side. We're gonna do another one here. Half the World off the Test for Echo album. I'm not even sure if there's a lot of acoustic in the song, but it's arranged in a way where you can really do a pretty good job with it. Straightforward with the chords: D, G, couple C's. Couple other things that kind of, octave lines to maybe practice in there. We'll give it a shot. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. Love having you along for the ride. Let's keep going. Let's keep building and move forward as we have been in the last 2+ years. I've really been much appreciative of everyone out there who's come along. So we're going to dive into this one, Rush, Half the World off the Test for Echo album. So here we go. We are going to take a stab at Half the World by Rush off the Test for Echo album. We're going to strip it down just acoustic. I'm not even really sure how much of this tune has any acoustics in it. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff layered in there somewhere, but the whole point is just to kind of break it down if you want to play it solo or, duo. Just something to throw in there, something a little bit different. But we're going to be using some simple chords for the most part, but with some other things thrown in there to give you an option of how you want to play this. So C, it's C, D, G. We're going to play a C like this, an open C. We're also going to use a C add 9. A minor is in there. I'm going to throw in an A as well at some point. I think that's most of it. Oh, there's an E that I'm going to play up here in the D shape of the cage, but I'm going to kind of just play it on the first 3 strings. So that for the most part is it. We'll go through it, and then I got a little section here for the chorus, right? That might have sounded familiar if you know the song. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with the C and the G chord, okay? D. That's how it starts, D. And we're going to go to a G. When the bass kind of comes in and just playing some different lines there. All right, and then when it kind of kicks in again, listen to the tune. You got to listen to it. We're going to go from the D to the C add 9. Now, when we play the D, we're going to kind of hammer on either your first note or whatever you're comfortable with, but there's a hammer in there to kind of give it some style. I guess what I'm doing here is I'm kind of keeping the pinky stationary or the ring finger stationary, and I'm hammering into the D with the other other fingers. Right? And when I hit the C add 9, I'm kind of hitting the lower strings first, the lower register, and I'm hitting the higher strings. So kind of listen, it kind of gives it some nice dynamics, all right? Just gives you a bit of a break there. So that's the verse and the intro. I should say, well, it's part of the intro, and then it's the verse as well. And it just repeats. You're going to get to the chorus, okay? Listen to the song. A couple different ways you can play the chorus. I'll show you the harder way first. Not harder, but just, a little more oomph to get it done. We're going to be playing just some octaves, okay? D to D note. So we're going to go on the fifth fret of the 5th string, and then we're going to go down over and skip. So we end up on the 7th fret of the G string. We're playing D notes there. Okay? So we're going to go from, and then we're just playing the octaves. So we're going to go from to the 5th fret, And we're going to slide everything down one step or 1.5 steps, so it's on the 4th and 6th. Back to our original starting spot. Now we're going to go up a whole step to the 7th and the 9th frets. Right? Right? That's how you can do it. That's one way. And the other way is if you just kind of play this A chord. Very Red Barred Shuttle-like, if you know that tune. If you should know it, but if you're playing it. So I'm going to go. So it's the same way we're approaching this. We're going to I'm going to just play it off of this A chord, but I'm using the 2nd string as my melody line. So let's put the A chord in there. So that's all you're doing for that. Just listen to it, get the feel for it, figure that out, see how that sounds. And it's going to continue back into the verse, into the chorus, keep that up. And then we get into the bridge. Right? 3 notes, or 3 chords. D, and you're keeping the same shape. It's the D shape. So the D shape D, the D shape E, and the D shape G. And then from there, we're going to jump into the C chord. And what I do here is probably the most important part if you're playing the solo or whatever you're doing, that bass line. So I'm doing C to B to A, which will be the A minor chord, to the G. Get it right? So all I'm doing, I'm playing a C-shaped chord. So I'm picking the bass line first, and then I'm just kind of arpeggiating the rest of the chord, pretty much starting, I think, on the 2nd string, which is incorrect. I'm actually picking it. So I'm picking it, and I'm going to the G string, and then G, B, back up. Repeat it. Same thing. And for some reason when I'm playing, I got my pinky anchored on the 3rd fret of the E string, high E. I guess if you want to kind of run into that. Again, we're making this our own. There's no way to really do this, correctly or, note for note. I'm just trying to put this together so it flows and you can play around with it. And then it's going to go into a bit of a break. I kind of make this up as I go along, just to but I think if you know the song and you listen to it, you'll hear it. So coming out of the... Again, a little Red Barred Shed in there. A, G bass. So A, G, you're kind of rocking back and forth. That's how I do it. Maybe it's not exact, but at least it gives you an idea how to play that. So I'm kind of, second time around, I'm taking that bass note out of it just to kind of give it a little bit of some variation. Play that a couple times, and then we're back into the intro. And then from there, it's going to go into the solo, which I don't really know, but it's kind of just, I think it's more of a mandolin solo, if anything. But over that, you're just playing. So listen to that. But this is really the song. I mean, we broke it down, I think, to its simplest form, so you can jam, play around with it. I like it. This is one of those albums that either you love it or hate it. I enjoyed it. I don't think they were There's a couple on there I can do without, but overall I thought it was a good album. I know someone in particular who watches these videos would strongly disagree, and we'll see if he has anything to say about it. So we'll see. But thank you for checking it out. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video. Later.